You're typically asked in the course to know how to find out what cosine of negative 7 pi over 4 is without using a calculator. So let's draw some triangles we can use to help us some triangles we can reference to help us solve this problem. If you can memorize the values of these triangles, you'll be able to answer pretty much any trig question that's thrown at you without a calculator. Because here's what you do. Take the angle, negative 7 pi over 4, and draw where that lands in the unit circle. So we're going negative, which means going the opposite direction that we usually go. So here's negative pi over 2. Here's negative pi. Let's see. Here's negative 3 pi over 2, which is still not quite there because that's negative 6 pi over 4. Here's negative 7 pi over 4, somewhere in this quadrant. You can draw a reference triangle by taking your terminal side of your angle, which is this side right here, and making a right angle with the x-axis on your unit circle. So we said that this is negative pi over 2, this is negative pi, this is negative 3 pi over 2, or in other words, negative 6 pi over 4. So that means right here we have negative 1 pi over 4 to make negative 7 pi over 4. So if this is pi over 4 in measurement, then this also must be pi over 4. And the reason for that is because this whole side is supposed to be pi over 2, a fourth of the way around our circle. So pi over 4 plus pi over 4 makes 2 pi over 4, or pi over 2 in other words. And if you're having trouble seeing what's going on there with pi, you could just convert this to degrees. Take negative 7 pi over 4, convert that to degrees, you get negative 315 degrees. Okay, so if you've gone negative 315 degrees, you've got negative 90, negative 180, negative 270. So there's 45 degrees remaining here, so there must be 45 degrees remaining here. So pi over 4, that's 45 degrees, in other words. So if it's a 45-45 triangle, you could go back to the triangles you've referenced, and that means both the sides are going to be square root of 2 over 2, except for the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is 1 because the radius of the unit circle is 1. So draw any line from the center to the outside of the circle. It's supposed to make 1. So that side's 1. These sides must be square root of 2 over 2. Now that we have a reference triangle labeled, we can answer their question. They asked for the cosine of this angle. So the cosine of our reference triangle, meaning you look from your reference angle, an angle that's made with a center inside your triangle, and you take the adjacent over hypotenuse, because cosine, that's the ratio for cosine, is adjacent over hypotenuse. So square root of 2 over 2, divide by 1, that just gives us square root of 2 over 2, and that's our answer here. Okay, big picture with these questions is draw where the angle lands on the unit circle, draw a reference triangle like I did in red, label the sides based on the angle, based on the reference angle that you have, and then once you're done all that, then you just need to do the trig ratio that you're told. Cosine meant adjacent for this triangle over the hypotenuse.